Okay, I wanted to start right here in my screenshot because I just processed the Seagull Nebula last night, and wow, this was a SHO 4X, believe it or not. Yeah, so that's my new screensaver. When you immediately make a screensaver out of your latest image, you know you did something good. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. What are we here for today? Well, just like the title says, I haven't titled it yet, but I will. We're gonna use some new tools, especially some of Russell Croman's tools to see what we can do on old M51 here. This is some data I took with my RC8, which I no longer have. But anyway, some really good data. It's probably about 30 hours on M51. So the red there. Let's check out the lume. That's where the magic is. Yeah, buddy. Look at that luminance. So yeah, let's get into processing this thing with some new stuff, some new tools, some Blur Exterminator. Let's see what Blur Exterminator is going to do for the details and the core of this galaxy. All right, cool. So obviously, first thing we need to crop, and I'm going to get a little bit aggressive on the crop. And I've got all of my heavy hitter tools over here. You know, starting the bottom. Bottom is always the foundation, right, of anything. So the bottom, first thing we do is dynamic crop. So I'm just going to drag this in. Drag the box in. When you bump it out to the corner, you see those two little tabs pop out. That means you know you're working two tangents at one time. We're going to get this thing in nice and tight. You can really see those details. Little spiky star there. Drop down here below. See how it turns to a circle. We can rotate it. Let's get crazy with this. Yeah. I don't know. You're like, hey man, I want to know how to process this thing, not crop it. Good grief. What do you think? Something like that? So let's drag that instance off. I like to put it down here, close the tool, and drag it over and drop it. Yeah, cool. I like it. Let's minimize it. We're going to do that for all the data. And you one-shot color folks out there, I'm going to catch up to you here pretty soon. Better be looking in your rearview mirror, pal. Here I come. All right, and the last one, drag and drop, nice and easy. Let's minimize that. Let's use our luminance as a dynamic background template. And I am finding these days more and more that I used to use a lot of big samples and fewer of them, but I'm starting to see a better result when I use a lot of smaller samples. So I'm going to increase my tolerance to 1.5. Come down here in sample generation. I'm going to bump that up to 25. My sample squares are going to be 25, whatever the measuring value is in the radius. You see it's at set, it comes default 10, well not 112, good lord. I'm going to bump that up to 12 and say generate. And you see I'm missing some in here. So I have to become more tolerant. So 2.5, and there we go. And I'm just going to try to move these quickly off of what I know to be galactic signal. If I were to start a rock band, it would be called Galactic Signal. Oops, I added one. Delete it. And we're just moving these around, getting them off. And we can come in here, hold the space bar down, and kind of move it around. Just make sure that none of these points are on any stars or star spikes. No, we look good. Okay. Cool. So let's come down here to target image correction. We're going to tell it how we want to correct. And we're going to say division. We're going to discard the background model because I don't really want to deal with it. And I'm going to hit the green check mark. And voila. Nice flat image. Let's minimize that. Yeah, let's push it over here. We're starting to get some big long tags here. But since we've done all that work, we don't want to repeat that, right? You guys don't want to watch me do that again. I'm going to drag that instance off, put it right here, and that is my DVE instance. And close the tool. Get rid of you. Let's open up red. Now we're just going to double click on the tool. It's going to set all the points. The reason I double click and don't drag and drop is because I want to see the sample points and make sure that they are happy. Nobody's red. Let's run a check mark here. Now you see this little bit of nebulosity, or is that nebulosity? Galactic. It's probably people's homes. You see how I moved those two sample points, so it's not the same. And so what I can do is drag that instance over to here, and it's going to say, do you want to replace it? And I say, yep. Yepper. All right. Let's open up that luminance. I think I was okay on that. I'm not going to fret over too much. Let's open up the green, double click, check mark. Yes, another flat background. Push that up there, close the tool. I like automatic background and the fact that you don't have to close the tool each time because it's not dynamic. Double click on the blue, hit the check mark, screen transfer, voila. Okay. So we have run DVE, as they all say, on all of these. A little housekeeping here. Okay, so I'm going to use the blue as my linear fit reference image. So I'm going to see, look, I'm going to open up linear fit. That should be down there. I'm going to drag this blue image over into the reference image. Open up my green. Drag and drop. And what linear fit does is it equalizes your backgrounds. And it just makes it a whole lot easier to color calibrate. We're going to do our red. And don't worry about that. If you were to kill the auto stretch and restretch it, it would look normal. Okay. So now we've done all our linear processing here. We've cropped it, done a DVE, and done a linear fit. So the next thing we want to do is we want to combine it. We want to get a color image. So let's open up LRGB combination. And drag and drop them in their associated lanes, red, green, blue, and hit the global. Okay, just going to close the tool. Now we've got the screen transfer function here, which just shows a preview. All the channels are linked, so we'll click on it. And you see our background's fairly dark. If we didn't do a DVE, you'd probably see a green or a blue bias, and we've got some pretty good color. Let's unlink the channels and see. Not a lot of change, so we did really good so far. Okay. All right, we've done all the linear processing we're gonna do. We've got a pretty good image because, you know, we used linear fit, but I'm still going to come up here. I'm going to do a background preview. I'm still old school, and I'm going to do a preview over the galaxy itself. And I'm going to come up here to process, color calibration, background neutralization. Just going to give that background a little tweak. And I'm going to choose preview 1 because that's the preview that I'm sampling the background. I'm just going to drag and drop. Okay. Close the tool. I come in here to process again, color calibration, color calibration. So my white reference is the core of M51. So we're going to choose preview 2. We're going to turn off structure detection because we're really not wanting to take the stars into consideration. We're wanting to use the galactic core data. But we do need to find our background reference over here in background reference. So that was preview 1. So we have those set. Everything else is default. And you're like, eh. So let's hit F12, restretch it. Cool. All right, come here to preview, go down here and delete all. There's some other cool color calibration tools, but I find them to be a little bit quirky. So I'm just sticking with what works. If it ain't broke, right? Okay, so let's kill the preview, right? Kill the stretch. We're gonna go back in here to script. We're gonna go to utilities, and we're going to do generalized hyperbolic stretch. Saw that in my last video. Really, really like it. we need to tell the tool what image we want to work on, which is image 13. So we're going to choose it. Yes, we want to remove the screen transfer, whatever function it thinks is there. So get an image here, you can see it in the background. So the first thing I want to do is kind of just zoom in on my histogram. You can see off the left hand side considerably. Got a nice peak. Everybody's lined up pretty good. But now I want to come down here to the stretch factor and drag this over. What I'm looking for is the faintest parts of this galaxy to be revealed. It's a little bright. Okay, so I like that. I am actually going to draw, just come up here in the field and draw a little square. It's around the back side of the galaxy. And I'm just going to click right there. And that sets a reference point. If you can see these values over here, see how they change, start to change as I get closer to the galaxy. So this would be considered background space. And then I'm into the galaxy here. So 0.0115, we're going to click this button that says send that value down to the symmetry point, which is right here. And we're going to reset the zoom. And then I'm just going to take this local stretch intensity and I'm going to drag it over to flatten out that line. And you're going to see the cores and the stars are all going to start to regress a little bit, but you really see this faint nebulosity that we pinned. We basically pinned it right there. We see that popping up. We like that. We likes that. So to the green check mark. And of course, like any other tool, it's been doubled up. So just reset it. And there we go. So you see this is a nice flat image, but we don't want that. We want some dynamic color and shading and contrast in here. So I'm going to click a little brighter spot. I work my way from the dimmest to the brightest. I'm clicking that spot. I'm going to send that value. Now I'm going to start to raise that area up. And I can actually go back. And now you can see, here's the histogram. You see this spot that I clicked right here is this yellow line. And all of this right here would be kind of background space. The galaxy is only right here. It's crazy, right? Let's pull that forward. Start to see the galaxy brighten up. Might be a little too much. Right about there. And then the shadow point, we want to protect it because once you start to lift this, the back end goes down, which makes your background space darker. So we just want to kind of push everything back and brighten that background up. So all we're doing is just kind of bringing this forward to get us a little further off the left-hand side. And we've lost a lot of color there, so we can just click that color tool, and that's going to start to give us some color. Cool. Yeah, man. So let's click another little bright spot here. Send that value. And now you start to see the magic. See, it's almost a little too... See, that's dark in the background. Let's just move that shadow point over again. It's not an instantaneous reaction, this tool I found. So you definitely want to let off and just kind of let it catch up. Let's accept that. After I'm at this point, I probably want to come up here and I want to my saturation and add some saturation. And I really love what this does, how much color it adds and how quickly it adds the color. You see that's a very, what I would consider based on images I've seen from the Hubble and things like that, it's pretty accurate. Click that. Stars are getting color. Background's kind of maintained. We've got some green noise. Woo, look at that. We might push that back a little bit with SCNR. Let's grab this core. I'm just working it up, you know? You don't, now you're starting to really just fine ticks. Tenths of an increment. Let's bring that shadow point forward. Brighten the background up just a little bit. I like it. Accept it. Reset the tool. I'm almost going to call this color done. I might give it just a little bump, you know, because it is the color image and we are going to put luminance over it. Word. You start to see some of that hydrogen there. I've never shot HA on this one. Need to though. Let's give this core one more little boost. There we go. I'm not really scared of a dark image in the background when it comes to color. I'm just barely raising this up. Just watching my background. Now you're like, man, this is boring. Cool, let's accept it. Stars aren't blown out. Got good color. Let's close the tool down. No, I don't want to see the log. I like it. I've got a little greenish. I don't think I have SCNR over here to push that back, but guess what? I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm going to come in here to convolution. I'm going to real-time preview, and I'm going to blur the image. Big time. Ooh. It's like, it looks like what I see when I take these glasses off. All right. And all that does is it smooths out our chrominance noise and gives us a better color palette for our luminance to integrate with. So let's move image 13 over. Wait, nope, not behind me. Right there. All right, so here's the fun stuff. The luminance. Ah, the luminance. Now, you can see how this screen transfer has really kind of blown out. And if I were to come in here and want to see what Blur Exterminator does on this, like, yeah, it's a little bright. Anyway, I'm gonna drag out my screen. Do you know you could do that? Do you know you could do that? I'm gonna point at the K expression here. I'm gonna roll my mouse wheel back. And I'm just gonna take this slider here and take it over until it kind of tones down. Would be kind of where I'd want to stretch it to. Somewhere in there, right? Let's go back in here to the preview. Actually, let's delete the preview. Let's create a new preview. Right there. Ooh, man. Okay, there's the magic, Blur Exterminator. And I've got the new version as well, and it's got a luminance only. I'm gonna check that. Honestly, I have messed with these sliders. Yeah, I think you get a little bit more of a halo if you back this down, but I don't see a reason to change anything. It's drag and drop. That's all it is, man. That's a drag and drop tool. But we are in the linear state. Control Shift Z. I'm gonna need to clean up an aisle 3. Yeah, that's crazy. That's just nuts, man. I'm sorry. 90 bucks. Go get it. Okay, let's just dump it on. All right, we are done with that. Let's delete that preview. We're gonna do one more preview. Actually, what we're gonna do is come down here and reset the screen transfer. Let's shrink it back up. Redo it. We're gonna do a preview, kind of catch that. We want to see some of the details, some of the background space. Let's click into the preview here. Close the witchery that is Blur Exterminator. Open up Noise Exterminator. Now, the only one I leave the denoise set at 0.9, but I do push this detail up to like 0.3-ish. Just drag and drop. All right, Control Shift and Z. Clean, 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 clean. Super clean. Back out of it, and well, away she goes. Cool. Close the tool. Delete the preview. Man, I'm telling you what, you can already see this thing's gonna be crazy. All right, kill the automatic stretch there. Go into script, utilities, GHS. And we're gonna choose the Luminance Drizzle Integration DBE. I should have shortened up the names. If you want some real intuitive, or real intuitive? No, if you want some real detailed information on GHS, go check out Polyman Astro. You guys got some great videos on, and I think he's actually written a script here, I believe. I could be wrong, on the 4x, a 4x script. Guy's pretty cool. Go check him out. Okay, so we've chosen our image. Let's zoom into our histogram. You see it's much more narrow because it's a luminance. Repeat. Let's pull the stretch factor over. Just slide it over here. We want to see some really faint parts of this image here. Let's go a little bit more. Ooh, look. So let's not zoom in. We're just going to click that point right there because we know it's dark space. We're just going to come in here right where this little tail is, about there, 0.0071. Send that to the symmetry point, and then let's flatten it. Yeah. Just like that. Cool. Let's reset the tool. And then, like I said before, we're just going to work from the dimmest to the brightest parts of the galaxy. You can see I am rocking right along here. Reset the tool. Just going in, picking brighter and brighter spots. You can see when I do that, bring that shadow point over and bring that background back up again. Oh, duh. Let's see what's going on. Oh, man. This thing is amazeballs. This thing is crazy. Let's really catch that core. Pop that core. Now we really got to bring that background back up. Cool. Now I have noticed that I still find I get a little bit better image if I get out of GHS and I use some curves to kind of finalize it off, especially with the luminance. So let's open up curves transformation. Let's do a real-time preview. This is, I want to know where our background is. We want to pin that down. And then right ahead of it, we want to lift this thing incrementally. So lift, like that. It's a small S curve. Let's accept that. And reset the tool. Close the preview. Okay. We are stretch. We are non-linear. So this is our color data. And we're going to put our luminance on it. So let's open up LRGB combination. We're going to drag and drop the luminance down in here. Turn off red, green, and blue. We're going to pull this slider down to increase how much saturation, and we are going to do some chrominance noise reduction. So now you drag and drop. All right. Amazing. Yeah, we've got pretty good color, but we're going to boost some of that. We've got some amazing details in there. Are you not in agreement? Do you have a problem with this image and the details you see? Shouldn't. I think I might have a little green bias going on in here, so let's go in here to process. That's just me. This is just personal preference. I'll push that green down to like 0.35 and just drag and drop. Just killed some of the green in there. All right. So I think I could do some local histogram equalization and a little bit of additional sharpening. Blur X is great, but it's not the end all be all. You still have to sharpen your image just a little bit. So what we're going to do is create a range mask. Open up range selection, real-time preview. We just want to isolate the galaxy. Right about there. Let's blur it. It's going to take out most of the stars too. Cool. Let's drop it on. And right click on the image and say mask and show mask, which means you're not seeing the mask, but you can still tell it's there because it's orange. Let's do a preview. I want to catch this little lower portion in here too. Man. Let's come in here to local histogram equalization. I want to drop the amount down to maybe 0.2. I want to raise that kernel radius up. So a lower kernel radius is going to give us sharper, finer details. A larger one is going to attack larger structures of your target. So let's just drop it on. See what we got. Control Shift and Z. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Oh man. I like it. Let's back out of it. Drop it on there. Yeah. Gives me the shimmies. All right. So let's go back into the preview. Let's give ourselves a little saturation boost here. Got a real-time preview, so oh yeah, see that? Right. And let's hit that C component. Oh yeah, still got a little green, but we're starting to see some of that HA pop on. Even though this I didn't shoot HA on this one. Back out of it, drag it on. Damn. I say damn, I just cursed. All right, so we got good color. Let's check our mask here. Mask, show mask. We're just isolating, just making sure we're isolating the galaxy. Let's get rid of that mask, or let's turn it off so we can't see the mask. It's still there. Delete that preview. Draw another preview here and here for sharpening. This is our preview. We're going to open up MLT sharpen. I'm going to drop this down here to maybe 0.45. Oops. And drag it on and drop it. Oh my goodness gracious sakes alive. See, that's yeah, that's a little too much. Let's drop that down to maybe 2.5. Control, Shift, and Z. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's Blur X, and you're like, oh my god. But then MLT, can you see it? Let me zoom way in. Get your specs on. Bam. See that? Oh, it's incredible. Okay. Let's take the mask off here. Remove the mask. Background's a little dark, but I really like the color. I love how sharp the details in this. I honestly don't think, I mean, I would mess around and probably maybe add some to this. Star reduction, there's not all, you know, this is a really cool area because there's not a ton of stars to deal with. You know, we're not looking back at the galactic core, so we don't have a bunch of stars. So I probably wouldn't even do any star reduction. Our stars have really good color in them, and we did, you know, we did this pretty quick, right? And we've got some of this great structure that just kind of flows out here and disappears in the galaxy. These little black, dark nebula, tendril structure, blah blah blahs. They are very fine. They're so fine. And yeah, so we used some new techniques, some old techniques, and we got what I think is probably a much better galactic image. definitely has got me excited for Galaxy season again. And you know, when a tool comes along and you reprocess everything like I've done, just to see what it'll do to it, then you know it's a good one. So thanks again, Russell. Thanks again for your voodoo witchery magic. Greatly appreciate it. So yeah, so M51, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And as always, clear skies and clear minds. Oh, and I got a Christmas present. You can see in the background. It's a dog that projects out stars and nebula. Never mind. See ya.